IBNXradio.com.
Welcome. It is Friday, so it is Feature Friday right here on IBNXradio.com. And so I know you guys are used to hearing a different voice on Feature Friday. It's usually Miss Poison Ivy holding you guys down. But right now, this Friday is a special Friday. I am actually going to be doing Feature Friday. We have an awesome show for you. And our guest of the day is in the building. I'm actually going to let him introduce himself.
Yo, what's good? What's good, Mr. Link? I go by the name of the Clinician. And I'm in the building, yo. What's up? What's up, IBNX? What's popping? What's going on?
Yes. And you are no stranger to IBNX.
Not at all.
Definitely. I remember you was on Live Life in the Purple with Miss M Love.
Shout out to M Love, man. She was dope. Cool
Yeah.
peoples. And Torre.
Right. It was an awesome show. And tonight's going to be an awesome show, too. It is all about you today.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And
That's the first.
yes. We also are I'm going to have some assistants tonight.
Okay.
We have a new member to the IBNX family, and Mr. Mark Anthony of the Mark Anthony Show.
How you doing? Thank you very much. Good to be here. Glad to be on the team.
Definitely.
Get a co-pilot with you.
Yeah. So he's going to help hold me down tonight. But we're going to get the show started.
All right.
I think before we talk to you, we should let them hear what it is that you have going on.
Okay.
So how about you introduce the first track that we're going to play?
Yo, you tuning in to IBNX Radio. The Mellow's in the building. Check it out. The Mellow.
So I'm enjoying that, my brother.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
I'm really enjoying it. So let me ask you this. So can you tell me a little bit more about the production? Like what inspired you, or how did all the production come into play, and on that particular project?
Oh, for sure, man. First and foremost, man, I got my man Alan Poe in the building. Give him a shout out, Al. What's up?
Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? Thank you guys for having me here.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming, my brother. Thank you for coming.
All right.
Appreciate the love.
All right.
So, I mean, I'll tell a little bit about it, then I'm going to let Al chime in, man. Like, the name of the track is The Mellow, and this is off of my last project, The Quest for Hip Poetry.
Okay.
Which basically was produced entirely by Alan Poe.
Okay.
Yeah, so the vibe that we're trying to bring back is that MC DJ type feel. You know, back in the days, man, you had Gangstar, you had Eric B. Rakim.
Right.
I mean, you had all these different types of combinations, you know, from artist and producer. And I think a lot of times, you know, when I look at a lot of music today, a lot of the projects, not to knock them, but there's a lack of cohesion because everybody wants to drag from Blaze and Swizzy and, you know, all these different types of producers as opposed to kind of rocking with that sound. So my man Alan Poe here just got my sound, man. We just, you know, if you listen to the cut, it's kind of retro, you know what I'm saying? Like, because that's just the feel that we had at the time. So I'm going to let my man Al kind of chime in a little bit and, you know, talk about what he actually did to create the beat.
Yeah, and that's the next thing, because I mean, you know, one thing I just went over some stuff on the internet myself, and what I mean by that is the producer.
Yeah.
Without a producer, it doesn't
go down.
Doesn't go down.
It don't go down.
So by saying that, what made you like try to bring back this type of sound, and you putting your own, try to creativeness inside it? Like what you know inspired you from that? Like, or
Let's see. I think what inspired me to bring back the essence.
right.
I would say it depends on the artist that I'm working with.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing, because I just don't work with anybody. I'm not pat myself on the back. In the way they have to kind of appreciate the music. You know, we have a lot of people, a lot of young people just grabbing the record and sampling whatever, but did you really understand the essence behind, you know, that artist that made that music? And that inspired me to kind of recreate it and then kind of kind of go toe to toe with the artist that I'm working with.
Okay.
You know, basically, like, let's say a love song. You know, somebody might just go, oh, I like this love song here, flip the beat, let's, you know, make it bounce in the club. Well, let's say if we listen to the beat, then I kind of reproduce it, then he might come up with something that's like, you know what? I like this. I like the feeling that I got when I first heard this. Mm-hmm. And that just takes it to another level.
Okay, I'm sorry. My next question is this I need to ask you, because, you know, it's nice, I mean, it's hearing when your producers say, you know, how they created and mm-hmm. different beats and what they find. But one thing I'd like to ask for some of the listeners, upcoming artists is, right. What do you look for besides trying to feel that artist? What do you look for in that artist to work with that artist?
A challenge. You know, I want somebody that's gonna kind of unique. In the sense of this not the norm. Someone that appreciates the music, not someone that's not. I can find somebody who how can I say, an ABC rapper, ABC artist. Okay. I like somebody to have more of a structure. Okay. Towards building songs. You know, not somebody that's kind of new behind the ears and just like to be around the music, like to be around the studio and stuff like that. Just some real heads.
Right. Who's serious?
Real serious.
So, and this goes to you, Mr. Clinician. Why did you pick this gentleman here, this producer here, Mr. Allen? Why did you pick as a producer? What do you look for as an artist?
Mr. Allen Pough.
Yeah,
Mr. Allen Pough.
So what do you look like as an artist? What do you like? You know, what do you look for?
Oh man. Okay. So I met Al at Walmart. Actually, me and him both used to work at Walmart. Man, like we've come a long way, haven't we, Al? Like it's been a minute. I was working in. I was still in college. I was working in frozen and dairy, basically, and you know what I'm saying? Al was new. Like, you know, he just started working there, I think probably 3 months after I started, you know what I'm saying? He was working grocery. Mm-hmm. So, you know, Walmart, you know, the cool thing I liked about Walmart is everybody doing something. Like, you know, the grind, the struggle is real. Like, people is really out to get it. And, you know, there's a lot of people that knew I did music because I just came out with my first album, The Diagnosis, which is on CD Baby. Okay. And, you know, you can find it there. But, you know, at the time, I was still trying to find that right sound because my style isn't orthodox. I use a style that I've called hip poetry. Hip poetry? Which is a combination of spoken word and rap. It's like a hybrid. Okay. A hybrid fusion. So I go off the premise, I don't ride beats, I am the rhythm. Right. So, you know, Al, you know, had heard about me through some other dudes that worked at Walmart. So he approached me like, yo, man, I heard you do music, man. You know, I do beat. You know, I make beats. I got them on deck. So, you know, I'm like, oh, okay, man, let's check out some. Because, you know, I'm still trying to find that sound. So, you know, after we get off of work, you know, we sitting in the whip. And he takes this old phone out. And, you know, he plugs up the USB. And he starts playing. You know, he's like, you know, it sounds better, you know, at the apartment, but, you know, I'm going to let you hear it. But it sounded dope to me. I mean, like, when he played the piece, I was like, man, it kind of put me in the mind of a Primo and Pete Rock type sound. And I was just like, but it was like more up to date. You know what I'm saying? It had his own spin to it. And I was like, man, that's ill. So I let him listen to it. I let him listen to my album, The Diagnosis. He's like, yo, you got mad rock. He was just like, I think it would be dope for us just to see what happens. Mm-hmm. So he invited me to the crib, and that was a wrap, man. Right. You know, we recorded our first track, and just to add into what he was talking about, the mellow, that track wasn't even supposed to be on the album. Like, that track actually happened by accident because he was actually teaching me how to make a beat. And he, you know, he had the MP out and everything. You know, he was like, yo, I'm going to show you how to cut these records. Mm-hmm. You know, so he takes the records out and he's like, yeah, you know, I'm going to take this old jazz sample. And I'm like, all right, you know, he's showing me, he's doing this little boom, 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 adding the drums in. And then, like, I'm like, yo, this is dope, you know? Mm-hmm. And, you know, during the time, you know, I'm like, yo, I think we might have something here. And then he started like cutting because he's nice. He get busy on the turntables. Okay. And then if you listen to the voice on the cut, that's his wife. Like on the cut.
Yeah, she came. Yeah, she was in the passing.
Just came down, laced the vocals.
Like, well, you know, why don't you say a little something in the mic? You know, she's like, I don't know, I'm not, I don't want it. All I need is 1 take, 2 takes, the mellow. Okay, got you. You can go back to cooking.
And that's the cool part. We never knew what was gonna happen with the beats. Like his son actually, actually, you know, flipped the beat for us one time. Like we was doing the track, and he just hit something and switched the entire beat. He was like, "Yo, you keep that." So it's man, it's so much fun working with Al, man. We had such a great chemistry to the point where I could walk in, he'll play a beat for me, and I already know it. Like he already knew what it was.
Right. So where she was born in. So with the mellow, with this track here, and the words, where did you get these words from? Like where are? I always like to ask this question, like where are you? Like you under the tree? Like you you in the closet? Like like what made you come up with the words? Because obviously you mentioned poetry. So for me that says in my head, well, okay, that's more of a writing type part that you have skills, obviously, and you adding on a hip hop, hitting on a beat with that. So can you explain a bit more about that? About
So with the writing process, man, like listening to the beat, it actually was different for me because I will tell you, like when I get on the cut, I don't normally sound like that. Like I usually have a more of a aggressive,
very aggressive. Sometimes I have to tell him, hey, just bring it down a notch. He's like, take your shirt off, chest get off, muscular, and then like just listen to the music.
Right.
Close your eyes, whatever comes from that, and let it ride.
So yeah, I had so my delivery is mad different. So I was just like, but this beat, you couldn't do that. It's just such a chill beat. So I was just like, man, it's got me feeling chill. It's got me feeling, no pun intended, mellow. So the lyrics themselves is like, writing a rhyme. It's like painting a picture. It's like, it was just really having fun. It was just, just like they used to do back in the day, man. Like, Tribe Called Quest, rest in peace, Fight Dog. How they used to get down, man. It was just having fun, just like seeing who could rhyme, who had the illest rhyme, and that was the art of MCing. So I just wanted to have fun with the cut. When I look at tracks in particular, I dissect the beat, and I kind of just go off of feeling. Like, I know a lot of people do bar counts. I just go off of feeling, honestly. Like, that's why I don't, that's why I say I don't ride beats. I just go off of, like, what I feel, and I write how I write. Al will help me structure it in terms of, like, the time frame. But, I just go off, I'm a feeling type of artist. So whatever mood it puts me in that time is how I'm going to write to it. And in terms of the lyrics, I have an addiction.
Okay.
So meaning,
thank you.
Addiction. So addiction is my addiction. So I love words. Like I would just always like that when I was a kid. Like when I used to believe it or not, I used to hate reading when I was little, but I used to read comic books a lot.
Okay. And
believe it or not, comic books have a high vocab. Like, Spider-Man be talking about expeditiously, move to the left. I'm like, what does that mean? Hold on, expeditiously. I used to ask my mom, like, yo, Mom, what's that mean? She was like, look it up in Webster. Now I'm kind of telling on myself a little bit, because we ain't had Google back then. So they was like, yo, it was Webster's dictionary. So you need to get up on this Webster's dictionary and look up this word.
That's
right. Smart mom.
Know what I mean?
I'm a Google kid.
Yeah. So you Google it? Alright. But yeah, man, so I used to always look up these words, and I would write. I would try to use the word in a sentence or use the word in a rhyme, and I just want to see if I can wordplay, like how I can make this like rhyme with something else, or how I can incorporate it in the song. So that's why I just love vocab. So like, and when I speak to people, I want them to have the same amount of respect that I'm showing them. So I'm gonna speak to you with a certain level of intelligence, because you're not dumb and I'm not dumb.
Okay. So how do you feel? I know I have a feeling you're gonna say, but honestly, like you put your right hand up in the air in the court and you're swearing. How do you honestly feel about your project? You got a bunch of investors right now listening to you, and besides you, you're the fans and new coming up fans, obviously, because this track is off the chain. I have to say myself.
Oh, thank you, man.
So
appreciate it.
Explain that to me. Like, how do you, where do you see it going?
Man, well, since the project just came out, it's gotten some pretty good reviews. Like, Soulgasm Radio gave it a really dope review on her blog spot. And a lot of people have been receptive to it. Like, it's interesting. I think a lot of people are seeking something different, because I think there's an oversaturation of a similar sound and a similar format, and not even just with hip hop, just with like a lot of other genres. There's like a format that they want music to follow, you know. So R&B has a sound like this. This is what's hot right now. This is what it's got to sound like. You know, jazz has a sound like this. This is the hot thing in jazz, so it has to sound like this. You know, rap has to sound like this. So I think like when people listen to my project, I think it, you know, is a breath of fresh air for a lot of them, because I feel like when you listen to it, and I call it the quest for hip poetry because I want you to feel like you've been taken on a journey. You know what I'm saying? And it was a journey, you know, for me and Al, man. It wasn't easy. There's a lot of trials and tribulations that me and him both faced through the making of this project that really like tested the limits of what we can do. But when you hear it, you can feel everything that we went through and everything, we put everything into it, and I think it's a dope project. It's on iTunes, Amazon, CD Baby, Google Play, Spotify, any digital retailer out there. The Quest of Hip Poetry standing right there. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? With, you know, the Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole albums and all that is right there in digital retail. So, and it did enough to, you know, get me on some magazines and things of that nature. You know, you want to add anything to that, Al? You know, about the project?
I think first and foremost, the project was a challenge. I've worked with a lot of rappers, artists, and it's true about the formula they use. You know, a lot of them like to stay in their comfort zone, such as they want to be tough. You know, you hear drug talk, guns and women and all this other stuff. So now when you have somebody talking about the just a certain feeling or kind of into their feelings, it kind of breaks up the monotony. So I mean, it was a challenge.
And you know, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I just wanted to jump in here real quick.
Yeah, what's up?
I was letting the gentlemen do their thing, but you know, you brought up a interesting point, and so I wanted to ask this question:
Sure.
How is it being that you're not following the norm and talking about what everybody else is talking about? How does that work for you as far as marketing and promotions and actually being able to kick indoors?
You know, it's basically like I'm starting from scratch, you know, because there's not a set template for this, you know. You talk to 20 different artists, you'll get 20 different stories about how they got on. You know what I'm saying? What I'm doing is not really, you can put it in that lane of, you know, it's still, you know, it has a hip hop undertone, most def. But, you know, in terms of what I'm talking about and how I'm coming off, yeah, it definitely is different. So the branding piece is something that we've definitely been working on a lot. And it's been doing really well. Like, when we rock concerts, like, man, we've been performing at the Auburn Festival, you know, quite a few times. We performed at Juneteenth and, you know, rocked it out, man. And it's like what people always tell us, like, man, you guys stood out. So I like being different because it makes it more memorable and it makes people retain you better. And like I said, you know, I've done a magazine, Mandatory Business with JT the Bigger Figure.
Definitely, congrats on that.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Big up.
Appreciate you. I was on Black College Today, you know, college magazine for the HBCUs. I'm a former Clark, you know, alumni, so shout out to the HBCUs. And, you know, like, for the most part, it's really been getting everybody that listens to it, you know, they've been loving it. So I'm going to keep grinding. My fan base is increasing, you know.
Well, you know, it's really funny because Mark and I was just having this conversation today about how the industry has changed. You know, back in the day, being a one-hit wonder was not the cool thing to be. And today, that's what everybody's kind of shooting for. And in shooting for that, they're giving you the familiar over and over and over again.
Very true.
So it's definitely great to hear originality.
Thank you.
And the fact that you like to be different.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I say that abnormal. It doesn't sound like a cool word, but right now, I think that's what we should be shooting for.
Right.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
agree.
I'd rather go against the grain and go with it. Straight
right.
up.
Because if you go, so as always, and if you really think about it, like I said, I'm kind of telling myself, I've been around just when Jazzy Jeff. Well, just parents don't understand.
Jazzy Jeff.
I've been just give a little time for my age, but
Just a little.
right. So, and even back then, they had to be different in order to get recognized. Then now the industry is more like the same now. It's like my you were saying, my co-host was saying here, is that you gotta go back out again to be be different again, and I totally appreciate what you're doing, man.
Thank you.
You're also bringing that back as well, too. Same to you, Mr. Producer over there as well.
Super producer over there.
Yeah, so and I appreciate that, and I think that's very, very important. What you're doing.
Well, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. It's always good to get love.
And what's amazing about that is it's actually right on time. Because if you're paying attention to the music today, they're bringing back.
Yeah.
I'm going to say they're stealing all of our classics.
Right.
But it's always been in the traditional sense, with the samples and the beats and things like that.
Yeah.
But no, they're literally taking the lyrics, the song.
Yeah, they biting right. Yeah.
I heard that.
We're basically playing covers on the radio right now. But, so with bringing back, the old school type of beats and the old school type of feel to music is actually right on time.
Oh, appreciate you.
And I think artists get it. Artists are really mistaken when they think that different is going to stop them in the industry, because especially now today with such things as IBNX Radio, internet radio, and the various different forms of media. There's a whole underground world, but look at how Kendrick Lamar and is it J. Cole that went platinum. They're not the Future and the Migos, but they went platinum without radio technically. So different still sells. You just have to understand your market and understand who your target audience is, and you're gonna have to put in some work.
Oh yes, for sure. For sure.
So speaking of work,
let's get into another track.
Let's get into another track. How about well, let's see, Miss Wright. What's Miss Wright about?
Okay, so first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to a really, really special and near and dear friend to me. She goes by the name of... Spin it.
Oh my goodness. How y'all doing? This is Asia Soule.
Asia Soule. Wait, say that again. Hold on a minute.
It's so roll. It's roll so
Asia
smooth.
Soule.
Asia Soule.
That's a beautiful name.
It rolls so smooth like
We
this.
can get into that name after. Go ahead, do your thing, Mama.
Well, it's an honor actually to collab with this brother here and Alan Poe. Like he said, his style is very unorthodox, and it was a push for me. Like Al said, it was a challenge for me. We actually went to the same studio and worked with the same engineer, but we never met each other. So the engineer actually introduced a track that he was doing.
Okay.
He was like, he needs a female singer on there, and see what you can come up with. And I listened to it. I said, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I need to do something. So I had to study it. I studied it, and it was refreshing. I was like, this is really different. I was like, I would love to do something for this. So I ended up, putting some poetry and singing on it, and then it became, the rest is history. So we've been working with each other ever since, and it's been like, what, 4?
Yeah, we're going on
years?
4 or 5 years, man. We got tracks for days, but the special thing about Soule is she's like the DJ Quick of lyrics. Like, she can write something in 2 minutes and just be done with it and be dope. So getting into
you're talking to a certain audience if you speak about.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm showing my age a little bit. DJ Quick's kind of out y'all range right now. Okay. She's like the Future of lyrics. The way Future puts out tracks, she can drop that. She can put down lyrics like heavy.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so, but no, like, man, me and Soule have been working together for a hot minute now, and, we actually are going to drop a gem after this track. But this is a track that me and her really worked on together called Miss Right, and I'm gonna let you guys listen to it, and then we'll talk about it.
Oh, that's what's
And
up.
real quick, it really just talks about, how every woman wants to be Miss Right, and every man wants to find Miss Right. So
That's right.
Amen. I'm looking. Anybody out there? This might give me some tips.
6, 7, 8.
No.
We're gonna save that for another show.
Exactly.
Oh,
Okay, let me take. I got my notepad right here. I'm take some notes right now.
But we're gonna go into this track right here.
That's right.
Miss Right.
That's what's up.
Various ignites block and spike, but I was smiting, fighting for Miss Right. I wanna be in you deeper than metaphors within you. Fill our fleshy connections to nourish and prime to. Neck caress down the chest, girl, you play me like chess. I'm the night with you.